Welcome to Franchise Empires.
Is there anything you'd recommend if there's other operating partners who are thinking of doing a deal with a capital provider, like pitfalls to avoid, or just any guidance along that front?
Well, I think going into business with family like I did, you have to decide upfront which relationship is going to be the most important one. And we decided the family relationship was the most important one, and the business relationship is important and has caused some conflict throughout the years, but we always came back to the fact that we chose to do this with each other and we choose to keep each other. Just a business partner who you don't have a connection with other than business, that's a little less complicated because you can choose to part ways. But I think there is also less incentive to stick together and make it work. When I first started doing this, I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy it. And I told myself, I'll do this for 2 years. And if I'm miserable at the end of 2 years, I'll leave and do something else. And when we got to the end of the 2 years, it turned out I couldn't, because my parents were invested in this. My brother-in-law had given us countless hours of free legal work, and everybody was in it up to their eyebrows. And how do you just walk away from that and leave people with a mess?
Yeah.
So the time that my motivation flagged and I felt like a failure, I had to just keep pushing through that because we had decided that the family came first and I couldn't leave the family in that state. Now, that's also an incredibly privileged position because our investors are my parents, so they kept investing in it when another investor might have pulled out. There's a lot of privilege in that. So family complicates it just a little bit, but also tightens it. I think we needed a third component in our partnership, and I think that would have made us more effective. It would have made me better at my job, and it would have made our store stronger from the very beginning, because I was both the administrative end and the operational end. And so I was wearing 2 hats at the same time, and when it's time to pay the employees and do payroll, everything else has to drop. You cannot miss that deadline. You cannot stop because there's an emergency in the store. And so there were moments operationally that I really should have been present that I couldn't be because I was doing the other job. And if we had had someone to take that back office job away from me or take the operations end away from me, I think we would have been a lot more stable in our development.
Yeah. That's, I can imagine just at the end of 2 years where it's probably a tough feeling where maybe just, I don't know, I guess possibly feeling locked into something that maybe, you didn't know how it would go still at that point. So it's really good overall feedback for anyone who's kind of maybe in a similar position or thinking about entering a similar position.